हमारे साथ आज सेट पे मौजूद हैं रहाना सदीक एंड रुथ ओरली। दोनों चिल्ड्रन हॉस्पिटल से ताल्लुक़ रखती हैं और वुमेन हॉस्पिटल से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं, और ये दोनों का बैकग्राउंड चैपलेंसी से है। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि चैपलेंसी इज़ अ रियली ब्रॉड एरिया, और हमारी कम्युनिटी में हम लोग इस चीज़ को इतना वो नहीं करते, है ना हिना?
मेरे ख्याल में अगर हम अपने गेस्ट स्पीकर से इस हवाले से ज़्यादा बातचीत करें तो मौजूद है कि ताकि फिर हमें अंदरून खाना जो है वो इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सकेगी ज़्यादा। सो रेहाना, वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड एंड वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड रूथ. Rehana, we'd like to, take some questions from you first. So since Ambreen introduced you or introduced your background as such that you are associated with the Women's Hospital, so would you like to explain to us, or just a brief introduction of how are you people preparing for Ramadan?
Okay. Well, first of all, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak, yes.
You asked me something about what I've just managed to do before I came running out here.
Right, excellent.
Doing things rather late, unfortunately, but I didn't manage to get out there yesterday. I packed 3 dates in little tiny packages.
Right.
Got a poster telling people Ramadan Mubarak, and that they are welcome to take the dates to break their fast tonight. Usually put a jug of water out as well, because you never know who's prepared and who's not prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially in a hospital, where there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of anxiety, and people may be fasting, but they might not be thinking about themselves. And then suddenly they're thinking, oh gosh, it's nearly Maghrib time, and I need to break my fast. And they look for where the prayer room in the hospital is. So just outside, we put little packs of 3 dates in each pack, and I put a little label on each pack, reminding our Muslims about not leaving their gittikas, their stones, their date stones around, and making the carpet all sticky and whatnot. No, I didn't put that on the labels, but I did say, please kindly take away your rubbish with you. And the idea of putting them in the packet was that when they've broken their fast, they can actually put their sticky date stones inside the packet
and then discard
them into their bag or whatever to be able to throw away. So that's one of the things that I did just before I came out today.
Right. That's a lovely thought. Yeah, that was a lovely thought and a lovely action as well. Ji Amreen, aap kuch keh rahi thi?
मैं कह रही हूँ कि it's also like thinking about those who are in the hospital. As you said, a lot of people go through traumas, and those who are in the hospital, we know that they are isolated because the women जो हॉस्पिटल में है वो अपना रमज़ान उस तरीके से नहीं गुजार सकती जिस तरह वो गुजारना चाहती हैं. Like when we are home we prepare, even though if we are not fasting we do a lot of things for our families, for our communities, like just giving some iftar for the neighbors, but those who are in the hospital, what do you
well, for so many years, every Ramadan when I have visited women in the hospital, they feel a sense of missing out.
Absolutely.
And they know that it's perfectly valid within Islamic Sharia that it's okay for them to miss their fast if they're not able to do it. They're exempt if they're pregnant, or they've just had a baby, and they might be in their postnatal bleeding, so they wouldn't be fasting then anyway.
Of course.
So they know this is a position, and sometimes it's women who are actually having difficulties with pregnancy and are not coming in to have a baby. Or it could even be a woman who is of younger or better age, but it's a gynecological problem. It's not to do with maternity and babies.
No, because of which probably they're emotionally turbulent as well.
So there could be a variety of different reasons. But nevertheless, while they know that they are exempt from it, they do feel that they're missing out on the blessings of Allah. And my sisters, one of the most beautiful things that I love to remind people during this time is, remember how Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, reminded us that everything is based, all our actions are based on our intentions.
Absolutely.
So, depending on that intention and that desire and that want to be able to fast, but being prevented from it, takes nothing away from them in terms of their rewards.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who are we to judge, as long as they've made an intention.
But I hear what you were saying, Ambreen, because we are human beings.
Absolutely.
And even though we know that Allah is still rewarding us for what we couldn't or not able to do, we still feel, oh my gosh, I could do more. I could be preparing the iftar for my family. I could be having rewards in that as well. Or just being there, watching your family break their fast, even if you're not fasting. And let's face it,
it's a different environment in the hospital. Because क्योंकि हिना ऐसा भी होता है क्योंकि I have worked as a chaplain in the hospitals. I have been there and seen that. क्योंकि ज़्यादातर ऐसा होता है कि parents अगर उनके बच्चे बीमार हैं, they will end up thinking that Allah हमें सज़ा दे रहा है, Allah God is punishing us. I experienced that a lot in the children hospital. कि अगर कोई बच्चा बीमार है तो माँ बाप के ज़हन में यही बात आती है कि हमें किसी चीज़ की सज़ा मिल रही है. Even in Ramadan they will go with that guilt.
अच्छा, उसमें होता यूँ है अमरीन कि बेसिकली हम इंसान हैं ना, और इंसान ख़ता की पुतली है. अगरचे कि कभी उनके जहन में इत्तफ़ाक़न गलती से ये ख्याल आ जाता है कि अल्लाह हमें सज़ा दे रहा है, तो हम सबको पता है कि अल्लाह सुब्हानहू तआला की ज़ात तो गफ़ूर रहीम है, वो किसी को सज़ा नहीं देता, और किसी को अगर आज़माता है तो उसकी सब्र या उसके सहने से ज़्यादा नहीं आज़माता. तो ये बेसिकली इमोशनली टर्बुलेंट फेज़ होता है, न सिर्फ मरीज़ के लिए बल्कि उसकी पूरी फैमिली के लिए जो कि वहाँ पर उनके साथ मौजूद होते हैं, अपने प्यारों की तकलीफ़ नहीं देख सकते, तो वो इमोशनली टर्बुलेंट होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से वो बेसिकली ब्रेक डाउन हो रहे होते हैं, और वो फिर उनके जहनों में इस किस्म के ख़यालात जो हैं वो आने शुरू हो जाते हैं. लेकिन वही बात है कि देखें जी, हमारे घर पे तो सहर सुहूर और अफ्तार के लिए हमारी टेबलें सजी हुई होती हैं, हर किस्म का जो है वो हमें ग़ज़ा मुहैया, और हम उससे भरपूर फ़ायदा उठाते हैं. मगर वो उठाते वक्त, वो ग़ज़ा खाते वक्त हम ये नहीं सोचते हकीकतन कि वो लोग जो अस्पतालों में बीमार मौजूद हैं, होमलेस लोग हैं, या ख़वातीन हैं जो कि हॉस्टल्स में रहती हैं, उनको फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए किस किस्म के जो हमारे पास मौक़े मौजूद हैं, हम अपनी ज़ात के ज़रिए उनकी किस तरह से मदद कर सकते हैं. तो इस हवाले से जो है वो बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे ये सुनकर कि आप लोगों की जो है वो इदारे के हवाले से preparations माशाल्लाह इतनी अच्छी हैं, और आपकी अपनी as an individual person, you told us earlier that before coming here you'd prepared small little packets with dates in them, and with a cheeky note on top that you're supposed to put the dates back in the packet, and that's what they're meant to be for. So that's a lovely what would I say, gesture from your end. Jazakallah khair.
Doing that is really for the people who go to the prayer rooms, but they not all the patients are able to go to the prayer rooms. And with chaplaincy, what we're about is not just only providing provisions of worship, but it's about being aside the patient. It's about sitting with them, being with them,
making them feel that you're part of their agony.
And to completely all the time show your rahmah, your mercy, and that compassion. Because this is a thing that will help to empower them. This is a thing that's going to help them to start to feel themselves and a sense of well-being.
And having said that, when we think about the patients, we normally think they are adults. They're women, they're men, but they are also innocent children. As Ruth, you are based in the children hospital. Would you like to share your experiences from the children hospital and the kids there and the Ramadan celebration?
Yeah, well, I think for me, I would say being able to work on a multi-faith team it's a huge privilege, a really big privilege to know that we can, we are good friends. Even though we may believe different things, we're good friends, and we're working for something very precious together. So my role would be to ensure that every one of our represented faiths has got two main celebrations each year. So we would possibly focus more on a bigger celebration for Eid. And then over Ramadan, I believe our Imam will be providing dates at some stage. It may not be there all the time, but he often does put out dates for that as well. But the communications of the hospital is also aware that it's Ramadan, so they've been liaising with us and sent out something on the generic email to everybody, wishing Ramadan Kareem
Ramadan
to our
Kareem.
staff and to remind those of us who may not be Muslim that this is a very special time for our Muslim colleagues.
Are you still doing the fruit
yes,
baskets?
Indeed, that's what we would
because
like to be able
when I
to
was
do.
working in the children hospital, every Ramadan, all the wards, they got this beautiful bucket with fruits and different cards and dates. And
I think the first time I saw that, I'd never seen so much fruit in my life. We just kind of, all hands on deck to prepare a nice basket for the wards.
That is a good reflection, or demonstration, if you like, of Muslims being extremely hospitable. And then that hospitality reflects even more during the month of Ramadan. Literally everybody is out there on the streets, especially in Birmingham, if you would know that literally every day people are having, open iftars, which is free to people from all races, all faith, It's just the spirit of celebration. It's a spirit of hospitality that, we're all one under the same roof. And, nothing divides us based on the cultural backgrounds that we come from, based on the racial backgrounds, or anything for that matter. Ramadan is all about celebrating peace and unity. So it's wonderful to know the way that your organizations have come together and they're celebrating the spirit of Ramadan. And not only that, but as Sister earlier on mentioned, that you are not only celebrating the spirit of Ramadan, but you are basically present there, with those patients at the hospital and making them feel that you're a part of them and you're part of whatever that they're going through. So you're basically giving them, spiritually uplifting them, emotionally uplifting them, making them feel that, right, it's just not you, but we're there for you and we're there with you in this entire experience. So how beautiful, would that be? I mean, as Ambreen has said earlier on, that she's worked as a chaplain, so she's got a first-hand experience. I don't have that first-hand experience, though.
Yeah, to be honest, I was used to work in the adult hospital. When I worked in the children's hospital, it was just a new word for me because it was so painful to see the children in pain. And also she does a lot of children activities with the children and different wards, and I want you to share those activities so the audience can learn how how you do the spiritual work with the children, because normally when we speak about the spirituality, it's always limited to the adults, that they know what the love of God is, they know what the love of Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. But by doing the spiritual activities, you actually get to the core, the point of children's heart. So would you like to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a team, we would offer pastoral, spiritual and religious where appropriate care. And I remember, Ambreen, when we worked together, calling you in once or twice and saying, I need some help here. Because there are aspects, obviously, for myself as a Christian that I was not able to offer. But when it comes to spiritual care and pastoral care, we will visit patients. It doesn't matter to us if they're the same faith, a different faith, or if they even have no faith. But as Ambreen said, it can be a very confusing time for children as well as their parents. Of course, at the children's, we're supporting the child, also often siblings and the wider family as well, as I know you do at the women's as well. And of course, we are one trust. We also work together in that way. But to be able to come alongside and to offer activities to the children, to help them think through some of their spiritual needs, which really are pretty much the same regardless of what our faith is or whether we actually don't have a faith. The need to belong, the need to be connected, exactly, to have hope and, to be able to offer something back to society as well, not just be the receiving.
Just to feel alive for that matter.
Absolutely. So, we have a variety of activities, and one of the things we will do is we'll give children choice. We don't just roll up and say, right, we're going to do this today, like it or not. We'll offer some choice. We'll try and find out what individual children enjoy doing as much as possible, so that we can actually tailor for the children as well. But we have different activities. One is a bead activity, which can help children to think through what they feel they already have in their life, and to give thanks for those things. But also maybe to think through what do I need more of? Or what do I feel I haven't got that I need? You know, and to think through those as well, and then to help the children move forward.
And also
into
being able to,
finding
you know, be grateful for what they've got already.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I was doing one of the day, I was doing one activity with a child, and I said, like, you swatch the cards, scratching the cards. And I said, he was like, okay, what shall I write? And I said, you can write, I'm happy. So he wrote, I'm happy. Beside that, he wrote dark. And when I read the dark, my heart sank, and I was like, oh my God. And then I said, oh, that's when he showed me, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So you're happy? And I was like, yes, because actually I was forcing him to be happy in that situation. And then I asked him, why did you write dark? And then he was like, because I am so sad. And I was like, why are you sad? Because my dad, he never visits me. He's so busy working. So kids, they go through a lot of emotions, but they don't know how to talk about that. So through the activities, you are able
to engage them.
And to be, if you like, an external person, because often many times children will, not always, but often will protect their parents. So they won't share the things that are really burdening and harming them. So if we can come along, you know, as an extra person who's not related to the family, to give the child that opportunity to be able to speak out.
Just a non-biased support, you know, just to make them comfortable so that they can vent. You know, because really, really important. Children are very sensitive, and as you said, that they may not be able to, you know, share what's going on within their minds.
It's also the dynamic in the hospital, because when you work there, it's just like, the whole dynamic is changed, because sometimes parents talk about the diagnosis in front of the kids. Sometimes the mother will start crying in front of the kids, but that Allah is testing me because of my son is having this, or my daughter is having that. And just imagine the responsibility we are giving to those kids, you know. So that's something I think as an audience, हम सबको इस चीज़ से ना सोचना चाहिए. बेशक हमारे बच्चे हॉस्पिटल में हों या ना हो, हमें ये सोचना चाहिए कि हम अपने बच्चों को कौन सी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम अक्सर उनको ऐसी बातें कह देते हैं जो उनकी वो responsibility नहीं होती. Like we take our frustration on the kids.
We do that. We tend to do that most of the time. जी नाज़रीन, ये एक बहुत बेहतरीन जो है वो बात कही है अमरीन ने, कि हम अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ को फेस करने के बजाय वो जिम्मेदारियां जब बच्चों के सामने डिस्कस करते हैं तो हम उनको ओवरबर्डन करते हैं, और बच्चे वो चीज़ें सुन के जब ग्रो अप हो रहे होते हैं तो वो उनकी पर्सनालिटी का हिस्सा बन जाती है, और जहनी तौर पे बच्चे जो हैं वो एक नॉर्मल बच्चे की तरह जो है वो ग्रो अप नहीं कर पाते, बल्कि जहनी तौर पे जो है वो इंतशार का शिकार रहते हैं, दबाव का शिकार रहते हैं. तो हमें ये बिल्कुल कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि जो भी बात हमें करनी है, अगरचे कि वो हमारे बच्चों के एज ग्रुप के लिहाज से फ्रेंडली नहीं है, तो हम कोशिश करें कि उसको अपने पास तक रखें, या कि जो है वो किसी और बड़े एडल्ट के साथ शेयर करें, बजाय इसके कि बच्चों के सामने ओपनली ये बातें हम डिस्कस किया करें. जी अमरीन, आप कुछ कह रही थी?
नहीं, मैं ये कह रही थी कि सिस्टर रेहाना के साथ भी मेरा एक ऐसा तजुर्बा हुआ था कि we were like, there was a mother and her child passed away, only 5 months. And she called me because I was on call, and we had to do ghusl. And I went there and I was like, are we supposed to give ghusl? Would you like to share that experience? Because it was so lovely that, you know, even though it was painful, but at the same time it was beautiful.
Obviously, in a maternity hospital, in a department with maternity, you will naturally find that sometimes women will lose their baby. But sometimes also it could be a little baby on the neonatal unit that has been struggling for life. And we're hoping and we're praying that this baby is going to live and survive, and the baby may or may not. But in this case that you were talking about, Ambreen, when you came over to the women's hospital, subhanallah, the baby was very, very little, very tiny, very little, and we have facilities at the women's hospital. Now, I'm not saying that all hospitals have this facility, but at the women's hospital we have some beautiful facilities for doing ghusl and kafan, all the preparations for burial, the last rites for baby. And the experiences I've had are that sometimes parents can't cope at all with it, but they are so grateful that there's a chaplain, a Muslim chaplain that can do it for them.
Sure. Yeah.
That's one thing. Other times, and we know also it is a sunnah, not a fard, but it is a sunnah for the nearest of kin to take part in the preparation of the last rites. Now, some mums can't do it at all. And I've got some stories, if you've got time and you want to hear them, I've got some stories of my experiences with dads. And how they... I will do. I'll just finish off what answer your question first as well. And then other times it will be both of them, and sometimes it could be grandma as well, or uncle, aunt. Sometimes it's like that. But the chaplain's role is not only to do the actual last rites of the baby, the ghusl, the kafan, or whatever is required. It's not only that, but it's also to help that family to be able to do it with them if they want to do it with them.
Absolutely.
And it's holding that person and helping them to find the strength to be able to do it themselves. And that is an amazing experience for families who are able to do it. It's an amazing experience. And the closure that they find if they're able to do it. Now, I'm not saying it's anything wrong. We completely understand everybody is different. And that's one thing about chaplains. We're never judgmental. We are there for everybody of any faith and of no faith. But if you have somebody of a specific faith who says, I need this religious act, then naturally we make the referral. So I would say to Ruth, can you go and see little Joe, please? I said hello to him, and it was lovely speaking to him. But actually, do you know what? Especially Joe's mum, she could do with a little bit of help, and she's from a Christian background. So we make those referrals so that our families in the hospital can get the right type of support that they need. So going back to the work when it comes to sad things like death of a baby, it's different for everybody. The people who can't be there and ask us to do it, MashaAllah, they know and Allah knows. And this is the best that they can do. And it's their responsibility to make sure that they complete whatever is necessary in Islam for their baby who has now passed away, right up to burial, etc. But there are those who, and we're all different. There was one woman who said to me, she said, no, Rihanna, this is my baby. And I'm telling you, this baby was a bonny, big baby. And she said, if there's nothing else I can do now, this is what I want to do for my baby. There won't be anything else left for me to do for my baby. And I will never forget that woman. She wasn't very religious, but she did... and I just want to be able to say that everything that we are sharing, we know we will not share anything which is confidential. So our stories actually pertain to 100 people. So nobody would know which lady I'm talking about or which dad I'm talking about. Absolutely. So she said, I want to do it, Rihanna. But you're the chaplain, I want you to guide me. So mashallah, that's all. I didn't do it, she did it. And she knew not to wail and lose herself. And her tears that fell from her face were dripping as she was preparing her baby. And I was saying, you do this and you do this and whatever. She was doing all that. She was basically washing her baby with her tears, bless her. And then when it came to the kafan, she said, can I use my white scarf, please? So she wasn't a lady who normally wore a scarf, but she had her own scarf. And for the times when she wanted to pray, she used to put it on then. She said, can I use my white? And I said, of course you can. And it had some stitching and whatever. And I'd already explained to her about what we were going to do before we were going to do it. And she realised that it had stitching all down the edge. And the sunnah, again, the way of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is to have unstitched shroud.
Yeah.
So I said, well, that's not a problem, it's big enough.
Yeah.
Let's just cut the edge.
Yeah.
So we just cut the edge and trimmed it so that it was unsewn.
Yeah.
And she used this and to wrap her baby with my guidance, and it was just absolutely amazing and beautiful.
But I also remember from the, like, because what you're telling is a lot of pain, but at the same time it's so rewarding to work with these kind of families who are going through a lot of pain, but they love the support, because even though they have extended family or friends coming and visiting them, but they can't speak to them. That's one of my experience, that they are supported, but they are there to actually support them.
Well, patients are frightened to hurt their loved ones as well.
Yeah.
They
So
don't
that's
always
another
want to
thing.
share their pain with them. Or sometimes they want to have a good cry, but they don't want their family to see them having
Because
a
they
good
don't want
cry.
to hurt them.
Yes.
So there are a lot of emotions going, like, they are going through. So going back to you, Ruth, I know that you also do, like, a lot of multi-faith, and we had Eastern, even though it's a different faith, Christianity. But during the Eastern, what she does is she brings in the chicks. Even though there are a lot of pain in the hospital, but we also do some fun activities so the people can,
be distracted.
Yeah.
Although actually the chicks offered a lot more than distraction, and I think as a team we've been absolutely bowled over by reactions from the children, but also from their families, from the staff. And I mean, if you Google chicks in our chapel, you'll find stories from two parents from last year, actually, and some of the stories that the parents shared, the reasons that this had meant so much to them. I was filming them, I was off camera, but listening to these stories, I'm like, we had no idea that this would touch so many people from so many different areas in such a deep way, and offer so much hope. As well as just having a distraction. But we do make sure that we celebrate well together, and we help each other as well. So although Ramadan isn't something that I celebrate, it's special and important to my sisters, and brother. So so to be able to facilitate and to make sure that celebrations go well. We do the same, Holy Hindu festival. I was in the hospital completely covered in multicoloured colours. But again, to be able to go with our brother who's our Hindu chaplain and to say, we're here together to celebrate because this is important to him, and so I'm able to join.
It's all about respecting each other's faith, each other's choices in life, and just to celebrate the feeling of togetherness.
And as Ambreen was saying, Easter, Christmas, you guys come and support us in the activities that we're doing, and I think there's something very precious in being able to share with each other those important things.
And for others to be seeing us doing it together, I think that's powerful in itself.
Great example. That sets great example.
Although I did have to sit on a bus through Birmingham with Rakesh completely coloured. Somebody did ask us a question.
That would have been a bit of an experience there.
We laughed.
And I also believe that this chaplaincy team is a great example for our community.
Absolutely.
Even though we have different faith, but we are sisters and brothers in humanity, and we stand together in each other's sorrow, and we support each other.
There was once a time when I was called out, and it was by a Christian woman, and it seemed a bit strange, but the nurse who called me, he said, she's asked for a female Muslim chaplain, and I said, oh, okay. So I didn't know what to think on my way to work, but she wanted that. And when I did go, apparently it was her husband who was unconscious, and he was in a coma.
All right.
And wasn't going to. She was told that he wasn't going to survive. He was a Muslim, and she wanted this. She was Christian. She wanted to make sure that she would be true to her husband in giving him whatever he would want at the end of life, according to his religion. And wasn't that beautiful? And that's why she called me to talk to me. And actually, you know, sometimes the religious advice bit is actually the easy bit, because it's about Islam and it's about the things that you've learnt, and you can, you know, they've or fiqh, jurisprudence, etc., which you might need to make a phone call or two sometimes. But you know, it's about those things. And that's often the easy bit, but the other bit that's not always so easy is knowing how to hold that person. I'm not talking about physically hold them, spiritually hold them, and, you know, how to hold that person, and how to be that crutch that they might need for that time, and how to be that support that they want at that time.
Because you see, usually around that time when they're completely broken down, you know, even if you're able to just provide them with an active ear, makes, you know, makes the experience so much more easier.
Absolutely.
Well, because their predicament, you know, bless them, is unique to themselves. Only they know what they're going through.
Absolutely.
All we could do is, you know, just be there by their side, you know, being able to give them an active ear and make them understand that we're there with you in this, you know. I think if every individual starts realizing that it's, you know, our individual responsibility to help and support people out there, you know, regardless whether they're going through a tough time or they're just, you know, enjoying and celebrating the festive season. We should realize that, you know, we are accountable for our own, you know, actions that we take. And the fact that we should take responsibility to help our, you know, brethren in humanity out there, especially when they're going through tough times. So, and that's the spirit of Ramadan as well. So, Amreen, in regards to that,